Hey, happy Tuesday. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Gaming Gang Dispatch is in the air. Howdy, gang. Welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host here at the Gaming Gang Dispatch. So welcome aboard. Tonight is Tuesday, May 25th, 2021. This is live stream number 670. So welcome aboard. If this is your first time joining me, let me point out, very casual. Just hang out talking about tabletop gaming. First half of the show, I devote to the latest in tabletop gaming news. So we talk about board games, role-playing games, miniatures games, you name it. And then usually about the second half of the show, I take a look at a tabletop game. So interesting how that works, right? So tonight, I am going to be unboxing and taking a first look at Stellar, which is from Renegade Game Studios. It is not in shrink, but I have not cracked this open. This is a real unboxing and first look. I promise it just didn't arrive in shrink. So there is that. Anyway, do want to mention, if you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, don't forget, ding that bell. It will not only let you know when the Dispatch streams live, Monday through Thursday nights, right here on YouTube. Also let you know when I upload other videos, such as my recent review of Jackals, the Bronze Age role-playing game from Osprey Games, and I did dig this, so by all means, check this out. Check out my review. Anyway, of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Anyway, do want to also mention that since this is a live stream, that means there's chat available. It's not on screen. It's one of the ways that I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay, but I do my best to pay attention to chat. So if you want to say howdy, or maybe you got a question, a comment, by all means, chime in. I will do my best to respond. First out the gate tonight was John Vogel saying howdy. Flaming Huron's with us again. He is one of our chat moderators. Good to see Flaming Huron with us. And Clint Gibson has chimed into chat as well. Cool. Very cool. So it is Tuesday. I've got a good amount of news we're going to dive into. Got a few things that we will do a little bit of discussion, I guess. A little bit. And the funny thing is, it's not tabletop gaming related. It is geek culture related because, you know, every once in a while we talk about that kind of stuff. But because I got to admit, I think our look at Stellar is going to be relatively quick because it is a card game. The art I've seen looks pretty cool. So, but I mean, it's a card game. It's going to be pretty quick for us to take a peek at. But anyway, Zorek Zoran 1, Double Z1 has joined us in chat as well. So let's dive on into the news because I've got a nice eclectic mix tonight. First off, Wise Wizard Games, who used to be White Wizard Games, has launched a new Kickstarter. It just kicked off today. I've got the scoop on Robot Quest Arena. Wise Wizard Games, the makers of Star Realms, announced today that they've launched Robot Quest Arena, a new deck building game on Kickstarter. Wise Wizard Games has raised over $4.5 million on Kickstarter to date, and they're super excited to offer their first game with miniatures. Robot Quest Arena is a deck building game of robot battles. Do you have what it takes to be the best robot tech in the world? Control your BattleBot miniature with the skills of your driver and the cards in your deck. Acquire powerful new upgrades for your bot. Destroyed bots respawn each round, so you're never out of the action. Rob Doherty, CEO of WWG, not to be confused with WWE, which is actually not around anymore anyway. But anyway, Rob said, this game is fantastic. It combines the awesome deck building fun of Star Realms with skirmish style battles using beautifully fully painted robot miniatures. I can't wait to get it into the hands of gamers around the world. The Wise Wizard Games team has done an amazing job with the development of the game, and the components all look awesome. It's been so thrilling to see the Robot Quest world come to life, said Paul Waite, designer of Robot Quest Arena from Perfect Day Games. There is a Kickstarter video. It actually runs almost 3 minutes. It's got a bit of a music video beginning to it as well. So you may notice the like music like kind of blare at you. I have tried to bring it down so it doesn't freak you out right off the bat. But I do want to mention the Kickstarter video does start off with a bit of a music video. Well, let's give a peek because this looks interesting.
Yeah. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pug versus Crate.
Let's get ready to rumble. Pink against blue. Train hard and play hard. It's all up to you. In Robot Quest Arena, it's a battle to the top and a battle to somebody by drop. The opponent laying down on the ground then shot. With light flash and the warning signs won't stop. Yeah. Until it's time to respond and
Get back in the game and give it all you got, yeah. Give it all you got.
give it all you got. Back to your fight, it's time to build your robot and upgrade it too. The fun just don't stop, so don't give up. You can respond again and be sure to do everything you can to win. So fight, die, respond, and don't ever give up until the battle's won. To get the win, put it all on the line. It's Robot Arena, pick a side.
Hi, I'm Rob,
And I'm Debbie.
and this is Robot Quest Arena, the newest game from Wise Wizard Games and Perfect Day. If you like deck building games like Star Realms and you like robots, you are definitely going to want to check this out.
This game is so fun and it's really easy to learn how to play.
And check out these adorable robot minis.
Every robot has a different power. Pug is my favorite. Pug was built by a girl named Rhea, and Pug has the power to respawn in the center of the arena, which is a great place to be to get extra points.
Every turn you're going to have a 5-card hand. Some cards give you energy. You can use energy to buy new cards from the shop for your deck. You can also use your energy to move your robot around the arena. Other cards will be attack cards. Some attacks are hand-to-hand. Those can only be used on robots that are right next to you. Other attacks are ranged, allowing you to shoot robots that are many spaces away. However, you cannot shoot through obstacles like walls or other robots.
When you damage an enemy robot, you take health cubes off of their player board and put them in your victory point pile.
Lose your last health and your robot is removed from the board, but you won't miss any action because you'll respawn at full health on your next turn. Back at the high-tech tier to get lots of extra goodies, including a Kickstarter exclusive robot. Scroll down to see a complete playthrough video. You should check it out.
See you there!
Bye-bye.
The Robot Quest Arena Kickstarter has two major tiers. First, we've got the basic tech tier, which is $49, And that will get backers the core game, so everything needed for a 2 to 4 player robot battle, with an $11 savings off the planned MSRP, as well as an exclusive card and tile promo pack, as well as all applicable stretch goals. Then we've got the high-tech tier, which for, funny enough, I saw a misprint of this, and it was like 89K. It's like, what? For $89, not $89,000. Backers get everything in that basic tier, plus 3 bot expansion packs, which also will include a Kickstarter exclusive bot, and score a savings of $31. And of course, you get all the extras, the stretch goals, and things like that. This is already over 400% funded. It runs through June 17th. And as far as I can tell, the game is for 2 to 4 players. I'm guessing it's about ages 12 and up and plays in around an hour. I have not been able to get any definitive information about the age range and playtime, but that's kind of the feeling I get. This does run through June 17th. Estimated delivery is May 2022. I have to laugh because it seems Wise Wizard Games has this thing where it's like almost all of their games have to have some sort of built-in aspect to it to sell more packs of things. So, like Star Realms, Epic Card Game, Hero Realms, which I actually like a lot. I actually like Hero Realms more than I do Star Realms. I just think that whole deck building feel of like recruiting heroes and monsters and things like that just seems to, and of course when they get destroyed, you know, you can try to bring them back. It just feels more logical than I keep building this space station of the same name and it keeps getting blown up. But I kind of get a kick out of how that is sort of their MO over at Wise Wizard Games. And I'll be the first to point out, I have yet to actually play a Wise Wizard game that I did not like. Sorcerer comes to mind. I think that was the last one that I reviewed for Wise. Well, they were White Wizard Games back at that point. So maybe something worthwhile to check out. I do wish that we had a little more variety to the robots. They look kind of similar. They look kind of like Roombas. Almost. Go to it, Roombas. Fight to the death. All right. So the Madman. Yes, the Motor City Madman is in chat with us as well. He is our other chat moderator. So both of our chat moderators are with us tonight. Kabuki Kid is joining us. It's been a while since we saw Double K in the house. So good to see Double K joining us. Hector Alvarez is stopping by. I think this might be Hector's first visit with us. And he sends greetings from Argentina. Very nice. Very cool. Kabuki Kid asks, didn't they put out a new version of Star Realms to sort of ape ideas from Hero Realms? I think it was a while back. See, I'm not real tight with Wise Wizard Games. Now, I've talked to Debbie and I've interviewed Rob. Once again, I'm not super tight with that company, but I got to admit, I think Star Realms just sells really well for them and Hero Realms not as much. And I find that kind of interesting because myself, my nephew Cameron, even my brother Greg has played, as well as some of Cameron's friends. I think Elliot, my best friend Elliot Miller, who if you watch the show regularly, you know I talk about all the time. I think he's played with us as well. But all of us have definitely dug Hero Realms. I played Star Realms with Cameron, and both of us were kind of like, yeah, it's good, but we like Hero Realms better. So, all right. So, Disavowed 92's in chat. Good to see you. All right, we got a good chat going tonight. You know what I started to do is I began doing this yesterday. On Twitter, I'm tweeting out when I go live. Because usually I just tweet out, I'm live in an hour, I'm live in 60 minutes. Or if I'm screwed around and it's like, oh, crap, I forgot to do my 6 o'clock tweet, I'll be like, I'm live in 45 minutes with. So I don't know. We'll see if we get, one or two new viewers that way. We'll see. We'll find out. My next news piece, I think people are going to be pretty excited about. Unfortunately, I highly doubt that I will get an opportunity to review this. But coming soon from Funko Games as a Target exclusive is The Goonies Never Say Die. Here's what I know. It's our time down here. Embark on a perilous adventure full of dangerous booby traps and treacherous, treasure-filled caverns. In The Goonies Never Say Die, one player is the Goondocks Master, controlling fearsome foes from the outlaw family, the Fratellis, to the legendary pirate One-Eyed Willie. The other players take on the role of the Goonies, Mikey, Mouth, Chunk, Data, and Sloth, and attempt to overcome cryptic puzzles and deadly challenges with teamwork, strategy, and Data's clever contraptions. Will the Goonies discover the legendary riches that will save their homes? Or will they follow the fate of Chester Copperpot and never see the light of day? The game includes 8 beautifully sculpted miniatures of Mikey, Mouth, Chunk, Data, Sloth, the giant octopus, the Fratellis, and even One-Eyed Willie himself. Unique modern gameplay is included in this, inspired by the classic adventure games of the 1980s. There's 9 adventures that immerse players in the movie, as well as a brand new story. I should say, I believe brand new stories is what it's supposed to say. It's got a beautifully illustrated game board that changes from adventure to adventure, as well as custom dice inspired by the pirate gems found in the movie. The game features, once again, 9 adventures so that players can immerse themselves in the 1980s movie, as well as, there we go, brand new stories, plural. The Goonies Never Say Die is for 2 to 5 players, ages 12 and up. It's going to play in around 50 minutes. Why don't they just say an hour? It's like, just say an hour, right? Why is it got to be 50 minutes? God forbid the game lasts an hour. We don't have an hour. We only got 50 minutes. I always find that weird, companies doing that. Just say 60 minutes for crying out loud. It's going to carry an MSRP of $34.99 as, once again, a Target exclusive, arriving on June 20th. Yes. So, hey, Kabuki Kid says, hey, you guys. So, Double K's asking, actually pointing out that it's pretty wild how many exclusive deals Target has made for board games. I know we've actually started to see some Amazon exclusives, which I thought that was kind of unusual. It's not that unusual for us to see like a Walmart exclusive or a Target exclusive. I believe Target does pretty well with their board game section, and the local Target by me, I pop in every once in a while. I'm not a big Target shopper, but every once in a while I'll pop in there for something, and I always go take a look at their board game section, and they've always got a lot of good stuff. Of course, there's some of the, the usual, yeah, game, game of life kind of stuff, Monopoly, but there are a lot of good, solid board games. So this looks cool. This does look cool. So Kabuki Kid also says, no Steph or Andy, no female Goonies. I know, I noticed that right off the bat too. But as Disavowed 92 points out, there is an expansion that's coming that's going to add more characters, and it includes the girls. But as Kabuki Kid also points out, which I had thought as well, I was kind of surprised that there isn't one female character in this core game. So Flaming Heron says, well, the girls technically weren't Goonies, though. All right, okay. They're all Goonies. There you go. Kabuki Kid says, they all became Goonies. I haven't seen that movie in a long time. I should pull it up. I should give it a watch again. Because even like as a kind of kids movie, there were some parts to it that were sort of, wow. Oh, that was kind of gross. Whoa. So Disavowed 92 says that it sounds like Funko Games is just trying to make sure that people buy the expansion pack. So the weird thing is, I'm not sure if the expansion pack is going to be a Target exclusive or not. So that's kind of weird. I'm not positive. Because wouldn't it suck if you went to Target? Because the pre-orders sold out. Just so you know. I have seen that the pre-order is sold out. So you will be forced to go into the store on June 20th if you want to try to pick it up, and keep your fingers crossed that you can get your hands on this. Wouldn't it suck, though, if you went in and there's no copies of the actual core game, but they had the expansion? You're like, damn you, Target. So I thought this looked pretty interesting. The reason why I won't be seeing a review copy of it is Funko Games doesn't like me anymore, because I didn't think much of their Funkoverse games. Just thought they were meh. All right. So there we go. We've got, who do we have popping in? Indigo Dragons with us in chat. Good to see you. Edward Romero is joining us as well. So we got a nice chat rocking and rolling. So I know John Vogel's hanging out in chat. He's watching live. So I know he'll be excited to know that there is a new coin game. It is an introductory coin game on the P500 pre-order for GMT Games. And here's the skinny on A Jest of Robin Hood. A Jest of Robin Hood is the second game in the Irregular Conflict series, further adapting the coin system to depict peasant revolts, feudal tax collection, and outlaw activities in late 12th century medieval England. Transposing one of GMT's most popular systems into a simpler format and a more approachable setting makes A Jest of Robin Hood perfect for newcomers to wargaming. At the same time, it also offers a tight challenge for more experienced wargamers who can enjoy a tense asymmetric duel in under an hour. What, you mean like 50 minutes? Say 50 minutes, GMT. Say 50 minutes. This is an ideal entry point to the coin system and the ICS series, a two-player, relatively low complexity game with a family-friendly theme that plays in 1 hour or maybe 50 minutes and introduces all of the key concepts found in the coin series. There's a new hidden movement mechanic. The sheriff will chase Robin Hood across Nottinghamshire to prevent him from organizing peasant revolts, but Robin can sneak away and hide amongst his merry men. There's a second new hidden movement mechanic. Carriages serve as a simple twist on lines of communication, transferring wealth back to Nottingham while providing a target for robbery for the merry men. But some of them might be a trap containing concealed henchmen. It's random encounters with rich travelers as Robin Hood draws from the traveler's deck when conducting a rob action, then decides whether to play it safe or demand a larger donation with potentially negative consequences. There's a streamlined sequence of play as well, further developing the two-player sequence found first in Colonial Twilight. This new sequence of play is easy to understand while still providing difficult tactical decisions. There are 2-player factions. We've got Robin Hood and the Merry Men. Robbing from the rich to give to the poor, an archetypical insurrection and insurgency faction focused on undermining the sheriff's authority by inciting peasant revolts, robbing carriages and travelers, and building a network of camps across Nottinghamshire. The sheriff of Nottingham and his henchmen are the other faction, in charge of maintaining order and collecting taxes for Prince John, a proto-counterinsurgent faction focusing on suppressing peasant revolts and securing roads to ensure the safe travel of wealth confiscated from the parishes. A Chest of Robin Hood is for 1 or 2 players. Nice. Ages 14 and up. Plays in, you guessed it, around an hour. And can be pre-ordered for $50 with an expected MSRP of $75. Cool. Sounds good. Sounds very good. Very interesting. What I would like to see, and I'm sure somebody's probably pitched this to GMT, but I would love to see a coin series game, maybe streamlined a little bit. I don't want to say dummied down, but I mean streamlined a little bit. But I would love to see like a 4 or 5 player coin series, which was set in like a fantasy world where each faction is a bit different. So I think that would be very, very cool. Like I said, I think I would take a guess that that has probably been pitched. I know there are a lot of topics that have been in the, like, kind of the pipeline for coin over the years, and some have gotten very close to being published and not gotten published. But I think that'd be kind of cool. I think that'd be kind of cool. This sounds interesting. It really does. All right, so back into chat here. So, Indigo Dragon says, no, it's 58 minutes. Kabuki Kid says they're totally in for this Robin Hood coin idea. So, plus, she likes the designer. Edward says, I will not go 1 minute past 59. So Indigo Dragon says, yeah, if it goes 60 minutes, I'm done. JP Felconer Honor is with us tonight. He's joined us in chat. So he is asking, are there no bots in this series? Yes, I think there would be a bot because it says 1 or 2 players. I would take a guess. I'm assuming that the bot would be the sheriff. Taking a stab at that. So Flaming Heron says, damn, if the game doesn't go all night, is it a game? See, I agree with you on that. Now, that's not to say I don't enjoy playing games that are about 30 minutes or 60 minutes. But to me, I like epic games. I not necessarily games that are going to take you 8 hours to play, unless it's a role-playing game. Then that's completely different. But I like games that are, 3 hours. I dig that. I really do like that. I know my best friend Elliot, he really likes longer, more involved games as well. So Kabuki Kid says, Fred Serval said that if you learn this, you can quickly pick up something like Cuba Libre or whatnot. See, now Cuba Libre is also, like I said, I don't want to present it as like they're dummied down rules because they're not. But to me, I think Cuba Libre is the most accessible coin game for new players. And it's nice and tight. It's actually one of my favorite coin series games, if not my favorite, because it's relatively easy to get into. It is a topic that most people are relatively familiar with. And it's funny because everybody always wants to play the mob. Kind of funny. I usually get stuck having to play, the government that gets overthrown. That's who I get stuck playing all the time. So Indigo Dragon says all coin games have bots for the different player counts. Yes, as far as I understand, that has always been the case as well. All right, moving right along. Let's move into some role-playing game news. Now, yesterday I talked about there was a humble bundle for Pathfinder 2nd Edition, which is a smoking deal. I mean, a really great deal. Well, Humble Bundle has rolled out yet another role-playing game offer. Once again, it is another smoking deal and includes lots of free league publishing goodness for Tales from the Loop and Symborum. Here's the dope. Finding yourself longing for some original, fresh role-playing game adventures? You're in the right place. We've joined forces with Free League to bring you ebooks like Tales from the Loop, Core Rulebook, the Symborum Core Rulebook, the Symborum Game Master's Guide, and Tales from the Loop, our friends the machines. So you can enjoy epic campaigns across super science, fiction, and fantasy realms. Plus, your purchase helps support a charity of your choice. Explore the mysteries and monsters of the Loop. Free League introduced the Tales from the Loop RPG back in 2017. Countless role-playing game players have enjoyed their own adventures, and now Free League wants you to experience the mysteries of the Loop and their other epic role-playing game, Symborum, for yourself in this new bundle. Grab everything you'll need with books like Tales from the Loop, Core Rulebook, or Our Friends the Machines. Plus, your purchase will support, once again, a charity of your choice. You start off at $1. Just got to pay $1. Normally, the total cost for the PDFs in this bundle is as much as $237. Here at Humble Bundle, you effectively choose the price and increase your contribution to upgrade your bundle. You can read these anywhere. These are available in PDF, so they work on your computer, e-readers, iPads, cell phones, and a wide array of other mobile devices. Instructions and a list of recommended reading programs are included as well. Plus, you get to support a charity. Choose where the money goes between the publisher and a charity of your choice via the PayPal Giving Fund. This bundle does run through June 13th. Do want to point out that for $1, you get PDFs of the Tales from the Loop starter set. I reviewed it and I was like, it's okay. To me, it wasn't worth $30. That was my big issue with the Tales from the Loop starter set. You also get the Symborum starter set, which is actually really good for $1. The top donation for this bundle is $18, and it will include everything for Tales from the Loop, including things from the Flood. I think I didn't notice it. It might be there, but I did not notice it. That second kind of supplement that came out, if I remember right, there's like another one that came out after Things from the Flood. I might be wrong. That might have been the starter set I'm thinking of. But Symborum also includes the Core Rulebook, the Game Master's Guide, the Advanced Player's Guide, the Monster Codex. I mean, it's packed for $18. You got to go with the $18 to get all that. In fact, you don't get the core books unless you make it an $18 donation. But it's awesome. It is awesome. I love Bundle of Holding. I really do. They have some excellent bundles all the time. But when it comes to massive savings on role-playing games, Humble Bundle never fails. They don't have a lot of them. So I'm very shocked to see that there's two running concurrently that launched fairly close together. I think they launched about 3 days apart. But definitely check this out. So let's see. Back to chat here. So Edward points out that Symborum is artistically the most beautiful game they have seen, and it is a very solid game. It is really, really well done. And yes, the artwork is exceptional for that as well. So Flaming Heron says that they got a bunch of these from contests I've run. Yeah, that's true. That is true. So, Kevin has joined us. Kevin R. Smith is with us in chat as well. Anyway, all right. So, Indigo Dragon points out that Symborum is their favorite Free League game. Nice. So, Kevin points out they won Symborum from the stream. Yes. Yes. We'll talk a little bit about some contests after the news here. So Kabuki Kid says, so there was something about a Jeff's Kiss t-shirt that I saw pop by. And Kabuki Kid says that she had made a joke to Kevin when he said Chef's Kiss, and she thought it's a Jeff's Kiss. So that's kind of a catchphrase now. So I'm like, I don't know. So I have no idea. Must have been something that flew under my radar, which is not unusual. All right. So my last news piece, there is a new adventure for Achtung Cthulhu, the 2D20 edition. It's arrived from Modiphius Entertainment, and I've got the latest on Under the Gun. Dover, June 1940. After decisive defeat in the Battle of France, German forces hover a mere 20 miles away across the English Channel. Artillery is rushed to the Dover area, and shelters and bunkers are dug into the famous White Cliffs. Then, beneath the town, a strange discovery is made. Buried within the cliffs of 100-million-year-old chalk lie the remains of an unusual building, the landing ground for Romans, Saxons, Normans, and countless other invaders throughout history. The Kent coast is no stranger to antiquities. An archaeologist. How about taking a sip here, Jeff? This sentence isn't structured the way I would have thought. An archaeologist is dispatched from Cambridge University to evaluate the find. But this is a structure like no other, and it contains a deeper mystery whose truth is better concealed from an already nervous British public. Section M dispatches agents to investigate, but can they uncover the truth underlying this ancient site? And will they survive the dramatic conclusion to a shadowy drama which is played out under the gun? Under the Gun is a standalone 15-page adventure for Achtung Cthulhu 2D20. It's for 4 to 6 agents. Explore an ancient mystery buried deep within the iconic White Cliffs of Dover and unearth an artifact millennia old. It offers a mix of classic investigation, exploration, and combat to suit all playstyles. It's playable with the Achtung Cthulhu 2D20 Quick Start rules, although the full Achtung Cthulhu 2D20 core books are recommended, even though they are not available yet. Well, they're not. This 15-page PDF is available over at Drive-Thru RPG for $5.99. Although, strangely enough, now this might include some pre-gen characters or something that are not part of the adventure book or PDF, I guess I'll say. Because according to Drive-Thru RPG, this clocks in at 28 pages, but I have seen the PDF and it is 15 pages. So, but I don't know if there's like an additional download, like a zip file or something, because a lot of times companies do that as well. They have some additional assets that are available as a zip file from Drive-Thru RPG. Speaking of drive-through RPG, of course, the Gaming Gang, thus the Dispatch, are affiliated with the One Bookshelf sites. So if you are going to visit drive-through RPG, please stop by thegaminggang.com first. Click on one of our banner ads. That way, if you happen to make a purchase, I get a little portion of that sale, and all those nickels, dimes, and quarters really do help keep the Gaming Gang around. Also, Indigo Dragon says that Achtung Cthulhu 2D20 is something they're very interested in. Kevin mentions that they've got PDFs from the original Achtung Cthulhu, which was for a Call of Cthulhu from Chaosium, from a bundle of holding, and has not looked at the 2D20 version or any other 2D20 game. Conan's pretty good with the 2D20. So is John Carter. John Carter's not as crunchy as Conan is. It's all right. I mean, the mechanics, the system, it's all right. It's not, it wouldn't necessarily be my go-to. My go-to for something like that would be percentile, not 220-sided dice. So, yes, Kevin's talking about a little bit about Achtung Cthulhu. We've discussed the history of it previously on the show. I'm not going to rehash it again. I think Achtung Cthulhu, the setting itself is all right. I have some quibbles on how the mythos is presented as far as influencing the Nazis, where the World War Cthulhu, which was from Cubicle 7, did not go down that path. They made sure that the Axis remained exactly who they were, and then you also had the mythos as well. And they did intermix, but there was never any, oh, well, you know, Cthulhu made me do it, which I am not keen on. So, yes, I actually, if you go back, there's an interview I did with Dominic McDowell from Cubicle 7 back at an Origins, if I remember correctly. This is back a few years. And we actually talk a little bit about some of the behind-the-scenes stuff with World War Cthulhu and Achtung Cthulhu, because Achtung Cthulhu was originally going to go to Cubicle 7. So, anyway, like I said, I'm not going to rehash all that. Pretty interesting, though. It was pretty interesting interview. And Dominic's a pal of mine. He's always very cool to talk to. All right. So as I mentioned, if you like the Gaming Gang, of course, if you're gonna make purchases from the One Bookshelf sites, please use our links. There's other ways that you can help support the Gaming Gang. If you like what I do, if you like the channel, if you like the website, if you like these videos, you can buy me a cup of coffee, 2 liters of soda, what have you. We have some supporters already. Most of them are in chat right now. In fact, I think all of them are in chat. So you can visit paypal.me/thegaminggang if you want to make a small donation to help support the Gaming Gang. I do not run Kickstarters. I do not run Patreons to keep the lights on here. So, but I do want to thank this month's supporters. We've got the Madman. We've got JP Falconer Honor, which I always just say JPF. John Vogel, Clint Gibson are also help supporting the site. So very, very cool. All right. So we got a few more minutes before we jump into Stellar. So a couple of things. First of all, also, I guess 3 things. Want to remind everybody, no shows next week. I am off next week. As I pointed out already, Monday's a holiday. I would not have been doing a show anyway. The 3rd is my nephew Cameron's graduation from basic for the Air National Guard. I always forget. It's like, it's not Air Force. It's like, I don't know. Anyway, so I probably wouldn't be doing a show on that day either. So I usually take a week off every quarter. So that's where I'm going to do it. So I can end up doing it. So that does not mean that there will not be videos though, because June is going to be the Gaming Gang Spring Fling. You will find a new review every day in June. Now, I'm not saying they're all going to be videos. There will probably be, 2 or 3 role-playing game reviews that Sammy does, but you will see a lot of reviews next month. So, Flaming Heron mentioned that the PayPal link is working. It wasn't the other day. I know. Flaming Heron had shot me a message about that. So Indigo Dragon was talking about they don't remember what the original Achtung Cthulhu system was. It was called Cthulhu. That's what it was. So the Madman says, hopes everything's going well for Cameron. Indigo Dragon saying happy graduation as well. Yes. He I guess he lost a toenail. I guess they were marching or something, and he didn't realize he had. I think it's one of his like big toes. He tore the toenail off. Didn't know until he was taking his boots off, and there was all this blood. So he was on crutches for a couple of days. So hoping that does not interfere with him being able to graduate. Because as far as I know, and I could be wrong, but I have heard this from a couple of women I'm friends with whose sons were in the military recently. They don't usually tell the enlisted person that they're not graduating until a couple of days or the day before graduation. So, don't know. So everybody's like, ooh, ouch, lost a toenail. Ooh, yuck. Yes. Kevin says, toe injuries are surprisingly painful and inconvenient. Yes, they are. When I was a kid, I tore part of my toenail off. Forget what happened. I forget how it happened. But yeah. And when that happens, that toenail's always messed up for the rest of your life. All right. So I was going to mention that I've been watching a lot of stuff. I've been streaming a lot of stuff, which I normally don't. I'll catch things here and there, and I'll watch my Last Week Tonight with John Oliver and stuff like that. But I usually don't spend night after night binge watching stuff. But I had the past few nights. So I watched Army of the Dead. I thought, no spoilers. I'm not going to say, not spoil anything for anybody. I liked it, but there was something in it that when they do it in a movie pisses me off. And it's when somebody does something that basically screws everybody else and a bunch of characters get killed. And a prime example of that is Saving Private Ryan. The character who's like the writer, the journalist, the one who's actually supposed to be like Steven Spielberg if he had been there is essentially what it is, right? And he does, I don't know, once again, that movie's so old, like it's not like I'm going to spoil anything. But because he's a coward, a bunch of characters die. And that pissed me off. Same kind of thing, not cowardly, but there's something that happens in Army of the Dead that pissed me off. I was like, and then it's one of these things where it's like, so this thing happens, and then at the end of the movie, it didn't matter in the least bit. So, anyway, talking about toenails. Got a scar. You get a scar. Chicks dig scars. I don't know if all chicks dig scars. So the Madman said, I can't watch that part of Saving Private Ryan, and I get too angry. I'm with you on that. I'm always like, just gonna skip right there. Move that. So Edward says, I hate that dude in Saving Private Ryan as well. Indigo says, that's bad storytelling. I kind of agree. But you have to have seen Army of the Dead to get into it. Okay, so then I watched MODOK on Hulu. I thought it was all right. I thought it was super bizarre, and I can tell why it was not on Disney Plus. So, yeah, it's a bit more mature. Not that it's like way overboard, but yeah, it's closer. It's closer to Deadpool than it is WandaVision. So I thought it was all right. So the Madman says they just saw Army of the Dead today and they have to agree with me. Yeah, there's that. It just ticks me off. And then it's like, well, what was the point of that? And it's actually, okay, I'm not going to harp on this too much because especially if you haven't seen it, but it's kind of like, why do that in the first place? I don't understand what the whole point of that was. And it's like, yeah, okay. This is a pretty lame hook. So anyway, so I watched Jupiter's Legacy on Netflix, and the critics are ripping it to shreds. My brother was like, oh no, it's really good. Well, so I watched it. It was better than the critics are making it out to be. It's not fantastic. In fact, it's like 8 episodes, and I figured out, or I could tell, like, something that is revealed in the last episode of the season. I'm like, yeah, I see where this is going. So I was kind of like, So anyway. And then last night I started watching Sons of Sam, which is a documentary on Netflix about Son of Sam and how it's possible he was not the only person involved in those murders. So I haven't finished watching it. So I'm like, wow, I'm Army of Dead I liked, but once again, I had issues with. I think it could have been a better movie. I know a lot of people are really upset about the cinematography. That really didn't bother me. MODOK, I thought, not too bad. It's worth watching. It's, 22, 23 minute episodes. I think there's 10, if I remember right. Jupiter's Legacy, if you like those kind of superhero shows like The Boys, which I think The Boys is awesome, give it a watch. And I'll let you know what I think of. I get a feeling with the Sons of Sam that the 4th episode is just going to kind of totally turn things around and be like, oh yeah, none of this actually made sense. Yeah. It's like if you've watched that documentary on Netflix about the young woman who climbed into the water tower on top of the weird, creepy hotel in LA. My brother just watched it. He was like, wow, that was really good. You'll know what I mean, where it's like they're setting you up for a reveal, which I'm like, no, it's not going to be that. And it turns out, no, it wasn't that. So Indigo says the one superhero trope I'm getting tired of is the evil Superman character. Oh, so like Invincible. Oops. Did I spoil anything? Actually, I have not watched Invincible because that animation, I just can't get past it. It looks way too cheap. Even though Invincible was an excellent comic, I think I read about like the first 40 issues of it way back in the day. I thought it was a pretty good comic. It reminded me of The Amazing Spider-Man when that was, like early issues of that that I remember reading as a kid. So, all right. So Edward points out, didn't care for the needless bookends in Saving Private Ryan. I also disagree. Some other people are disagreeing as well. I think there was a big misdirect. I think somebody's mentioning that as well. And that didn't bother me. That really didn't bother me at all. But yeah, I mean, I know some people were kind of pissed off. They were like, "Oh, I thought that was like Tom Hanks." Because the reason why it's kind of a excuse my French, kind of a shitty misdirect is because when they flash back from that central character at the cemetery, it flashes to Tom Hanks. So it's kind of like, well, if it's Matt Damon, how is he flashing back to Tom Hanks? So anyway, all right, enough of that. I just figured I'd talk a little bit about some stuff I've been watching. It's not always tabletop gaming, but we are switching back gears because I'm going to be taking a look at Stellar from Renegade Game Studios in just a moment. If you're watching live, we're going to jump right in. If you're watching after the fact, about 12 hours after the stream ends, you are going to see a short video ad. You're used to seeing them. All right, so let's jump on in because I'm going to take a look at Stellar, which is from Renegade Game Studios, designed by Matt Riddle and Ben Pinchback, with artwork provided by Tim Barton, not Tim Burton, Tim Barton, and Janos Orban. Game is for 2 players, ages 8 and up, plays in around 30 minutes, does carry an MSRP of $19.99. So let's swing on over to the other camera because here I've got Stellar. So this is a pretty small box. Not as small as some card games are, but still, this is easily portable. Let's take a look at the back here. Space. For millennia, humans have marveled at the cosmos. Modern astronomy gives us valuable insight about what's happening in the universe, but there is still a sense of wonder to be had in looking up at the expanse above us. Stellar is a strategic 2-player card game in which you are stargazers calibrating your telescopes to bring into view celestial objects of various types: planets, moons, asteroids, interstellar clouds, black holes, even satellites, as you create a beautiful display of the night sky. I believe there's a bit of a kind of a tableau building aspect to this. It says, Raid Shadow Legends ad plays here. I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea. I think one of the ads that I've seen more recently that are popping up is for a miniatures terrain for like role-playing games and minis and stuff. I've seen that one popping up. All right, so we get a spring catalog. We get a little ad for Fox in the Forest and Arboretum. And we got the rule book here. So we got deck cards. We got a scoring sheet. All right, so let's take a look at the rules here. So it's talking about, well, you know what? Let's get in as close as we can and make sure that that is in focus. Looks like it is. Give me a sec to double check. Yeah, there we go. That's in focus. So space. For millennia, humans have marveled at the cosmos. Modern astronomy gives us valuable insight into what's happening in the universe, but there is still a sense of wonder to be had in looking at the expanse above us. So we've got our components. So we have 60 celestial object cards, 24 telescope cards, 5 number cards. We've got a score pad, and we've got 2 reference cards. So it's showing us the game setup. Looks like each player gets 12 telescope cards arranged to form an outline. Okay. So there are 5 celestial object cards that are marked as starter cards, and each of the players gets 2 of them. All right. So this is kind of what it's, looking like here with the telescope. So it actually looks like it creates an image here with the telescope cards. So it talks about card anatomy. So you get the number, stars, type, and we get a factoid. Most other games would say, well, that's the flavor text, but here it's a factoid. The game is played over 11 rounds. By the end of the game, each player will have transformed their telescope into a beautiful display of the night sky. In each round, both players will take one turn. First, the start player, and then the other player. So the turn sequence is add a card to your hand, play a card from your hand, play a card from the row, and refill the row. So we've got the telescope details. It says your telescope is made of 12 slots represented by the 12 telescope cards. Each slot is available until a celestial object card has been played there. At the start of the game, you only have one card in your telescope, but you will play one more card in your telescope every turn. There are 3 sections in your telescope. Top section, which is 5 slots, middle section, 3 slots, and bottom section, 4 slots. Okay, so this is the top here, that is the middle, and that is the bottom. These sections matter for scoring purposes. So we have a notebook. So you're essentially creating a notebook from these celestial objects as well. It says your notebook is made up of 5 possible stacks with 1 stack of cards for each type. At the start of the game, you'll only have 1 card in your notebook, but you will play 1 more card in your notebook every turn. So we've got some special cards. End of the game. Game ends when the 11th round is over. At that point, each player should have 12 cards in their telescope and 12 cards in their notebook. Once game is ended, each player chooses one of the 2 cards left in their hand and plays it in their notebook, and they discard the other, and then they proceed to score. Nice. Very cool. So Disavow says, my God, it's full of stars. So here is the deck. Here's the score sheet. Little score sheet here. All right. So is this going to open up? We're going to be able to get this with the little never fails. So Kabuki Kid asks, the game ends when Jupiter becomes a star? No, it ends when Pluto becomes a planet. All right. This does look like it's got some pretty cool art. So let's see what we've got. So we know we've got telescope cards. So let's take some of these. So here are our reference cards, our game reference cards. So we've got 2 of those, telling us the turn sequence and our scoring. So that's what we've got there. These, I think, are our 5 starter cards. Possibly. Not sure. These look like these are the telescope cards. Yeah, because they're like puzzle pieces here. I think that is, yes, and each, they're numbered down in the corner, down in the lower corner. And they're also color-coded so that you know what sections these belong to as well. So that's the top, it's yellow. The middle, which is 3 there, those are red. And then the bottom is purple. So there's 12 here and 12 here. So there's the 2 sets of that. So Indigo Dragon says, Pluto can't make up its mind. No, it's more like the scientists can't decide. So here we've got Mercury. Got a couple of those. A couple of Venus. A couple of Mars. Jupiter. Saturn. It is cool artwork, I have to say. Uranus. Only one. Couple of 1-point moons. Couple of 2-point moons. 3-point moons. 4-point moons. Kind of weird that we've got so many moons. 5-point moons and a 6-point moon. So I notice we have different suits too. So we've got the little planet icon. This almost looks like a die icon. It looks like kind of like a fireball. It's asteroids. So it looks like we're going to have asteroids of different point values. And you might have heard Pinky has arrived down here in the Duct Tape Studios. So she's making her presence known. Not sure if you can hear her or not. So we have 4-point asteroids, 5-point asteroids, and a 6-point asteroid. Interstellar clouds. I would think for gamers out there who are really into astronomy, this would probably be a pretty interesting game. It looks like it's very light. So we've got different interstellar clouds. We've got black holes. Indigo Dragon asks, where's the Earth? Earth is missing. Well, but we're supposed to be like looking through our telescopes from the Earth. As Disavowed 92 asks, what are we doing tonight, Brain? The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world. So we got the black holes, and then we got some satellites. These are only individual, one. So we've got one satellite there, a 2-point, a 3-point, 4 points, and 5 points. So these are all Kabuki Kids goes North. So these are all the cards in Stellar. This I can tell you is going to get to the game table this weekend. So I am going to, they'll probably be on the game table on Friday. So Kevin asks, where's Neptune? Yeah, I know. So are they only sharing planets that you could see? Whoops, that's a moon. Are they only sharing planets that you could probably see from a telescope in your backyard? That's kind of odd. I don't know. I have no idea why we're missing some planets here. Strange. All right. So we've got all of the planetary, or I should say, I guess they're celestial objects. So we've got that deck there. We've got the turn sequence cards. We got the player aid cards here. We've got these 5 cards, which I think these represent like the 5 starting cards. I don't know. And then we have 2 sets of 12 cards that make up your telescope. Got cool little tuck box with an insert here. And I'm not sure why that's cut out. It's almost like, oh, would you put dice in there? No. Actually, I guess it's cut out so you can grab the deck of cards easier. I guess that's why it would be. All right, we've got the short little rule book. We got some advertising. And that is what we find when we take Stellar outside the deck. So Kabuki Kid outside the deck, outside the box, outside the deck. So Kabuki Kid says, so is there room for like expansion cards? I don't know if there's an expansion to this. I don't think there is. I think this is just a one and done light card game from Renegade Game Studios. This isn't from Wise Wizard Games, where it's got to have additional expansions and booster packs. Anyway, as I mentioned, I will have a review of Stellar in the very near future. Expect to see this during the spring fling. So, all right. So I like JPF. It's like Neptune's in the expansion. So Kevin says, according to Wikipedia, Neptune can be seen with a telescope or strong binoculars, but Jupiter's moons are brighter than it is from Earth. Kevin says, what if they discover Planet X? Shh. First rule about Planet X is we don't talk about Planet X. All right. So what is cooking the rest of the week? Tomorrow night, I am going to take a first look at 2 Minutes to Midnight. This is coming to Kickstarter. I am doing a Kickstarter preview video for this, but it's War Game Wednesday. I'm going to share a first look. I have not cracked this open outside of to take a peek at the rules. So we are going to discover what's in this. This is obviously not the Kickstarter preview video because I have to play the game, but we are going to take a peek at this. This does look pretty interesting. And I know some people out there are probably going to see this and say, well, wait a second. Is that just a knockoff of Twilight Struggle? That map looks a lot like Twilight Struggle. Well, we're going to find out. That is for sure. So Kabuki Kid says, Duck Dodgers in the 24th and a half century. Indigo Dragon points out, Planet X only comes around every few thousand years. Yes, it's a deadbeat planet. Owes me money. And on Thursday's show, we are going to page through and take a first look at Amazing Heroes from author Martin Lloyd, the creator behind the Amazing Tales series of role-playing games, which Amazing Heroes is part of. So we're going to take a look at that as well. Wanted to also mention that I got another package from Chaosium today. So remember, I pointed out that yesterday I received Berlin, the Wicked City. This is the Leatherette edition of the award-winning supplement. So this is on the horizon. I'm probably going to do another Call of Cthulhu week on the show because I've also, today I received Call of Cthulhu Doors to Darkness, Peterson's Abominations, as well as Gateways to Terra. So we've got a bunch of, as I always call it, C of C. I don't call it COC because when it first came out, that's how we always abbreviated it. It was always CFC. Hey, Jeff, are you going to run some CFC tonight? Yeah, fine. Yeah. It's summer. We're on summer vacation. Let's go hang out at the pool. And then, yes, I will go run CFC tonight. All right. So that is on the horizon as well to keep an eye out for. So that's it for tonight. Ran a little long, but yeah, we hung out. Had a little bit of fun. Had a good chat going for the show as well. Always very cool to see that. If you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, ding that bell, because it'll not only let you know when the Dispatch airs live Monday through Thursday nights right here on YouTube. I'll also tell you when I upload other videos, such as my upcoming review for Mutant Crawl Classics from Goodman Games. I think this is what I will kick off the spring fling with. So I will probably not have any new reviews for the rest of this week. Over the weekend, I will be shooting stuff, obviously enough. But I think we'll wait until June 1st, and then I will kick off the spring fling with my review of Mutant Crawl Classics. All right. Everybody who hung out and watched live, kept me company in chat. Thank you very much. I always appreciate anybody out there taking some time out of their busy lives to just kick it with me and keep me company. Of course, I do know a lot of people out there don't have an opportunity to watch the stream live. Hey, maybe you're even watching on Memorex. Thank you very much as well. I really mean it. I really do appreciate anybody who, hangs out and checks out the videos on the channel. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer. Thank you very much for hanging out. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, or whatever day it happens to be that you're watching this. And I will catch you later. Oh, you're still here. Well, while you're kicking it, how about subscribing to the Gaming Gang channel? Or seeing the latest episode of the Gaming Gang Dispatch? Or finding out what YouTube recommends you check out here at my channel? And of course, don't forget, get your geek on at thegaminggang.com.